What if I told you the length of your Paracord project was only limited to the amount of table or window space you have? Well, that notion is now a reality. I also guarantee you've never seen a jig like this before. When would we ever need to make a bracelet that long? Well, if you've ever needed to make a Paracord sling or carrying strap, this new infinity jig is for you. That being said though, this jig can be used for regular size Paracord projects. But first, let's have a look. Now, as you can see, aw man, this is most likely the smallest and most minimal Paracord jig setup you can get on the market today. The metal ends here will look familiar if you've had a look at our Apache jig, as they have the same Aztec buckle holders. Also, just below the buckle holders, you can see the same speed holes as well that can be used to attach various pieces of hardware. And when you unbox this jig, it will come with 4 suction cups and these thumb nuts that allow you to attach the cups to the metal jig pieces. Super easy to do, and just like that, we are ready to rock. Now, the only caveat with using this jig is that you're going to need a smooth surface for it to suction to. I would suggest you add a dab of water to the suction cups, or if you don't have any water nearby, just give it that old hawk.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
That being said, once you have that smooth surface, you can go ahead and get the jig set up. You can set up the buckle core or knot and loop core just like you would on a regular jig. However, with this infinity jig, you'll have to roughly set it up at the length you need. Then after you place the core on, you can readjust and then add some tension to the core and secure the jig by adding more downward pressure to the suction cups. Now, because of the way this works, you won't be able to put as much tension on the jig as you would say with the Apache jig or any other speedy jig you might be using. But that being said, you can indeed get enough tension for this to function properly. Oh, and another way you can work with this jig that is not so apparent is if you're working on a project or piece where you need a single attachment point. Like perhaps if you're braiding a 4-strand braid, you can use one side of the jig attached to a table, and now you can braid much more easily with the cords attached to something. One caveat to this suction cup system though is that the surface that you attach them to will indeed need to be on the smoother side. So for example, my wooden tabletop here, while it is smooth, still does have some light texturing to it, and perhaps it isn't completely flat, so these suction cups did have a bit of trouble staying stuck to this particular tabletop. However, on my desk here, the surface, while still wood, is a lacquered finish and therefore has a much smoother surface, so the cups stay put a lot more securely. So as a quick example, if I were to make a strap with these rifle clips, I could do so on my desk as it's long enough and the surface is smooth enough for me to attach the infinity jig to. So I will have a full video showing you how to do something like this, of course, in the near future. Now you might be asking, well Tim, what if I don't have a long smooth desk? No problem. What's great about being able to attach this jig to any smooth surface is that if you don't want to work sitting down, because a lot of us sit too much anyhow, you can attach this to a window or sliding glass door. And just like that, we're working on the Y-axis. Now this is great if you want to be able to work standing, or if you just want to change things up. And not only that, for people like me that are limited in terms of working space, setting up the jig on a sliding glass window is great if you simply don't have a long or large enough table. It's definitely more comfortable working like this, where you can stand and or sit in front of the project instead of working on the floor. Now I can weave paracord on my balcony while my nosy neighbors wonder what the heck I'm doing.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
So as you've seen, the infinity jig is quite a versatile little piece of kit. I think if you're someone who wants to be able to make longer paracord projects like slings, belts, or straps, this would be very useful for you. That being said, if you're just into making regular or more conventional sized paracord projects like bracelets and whatnot, the infinity jig is still great for that too, and it's ultra portable as the footprint of each of the jig pieces are about the same size as my hand. Also, it makes it super easy to store as well. So if you like how this jig works and want to check one out for yourself, I'll have it linked in the description down below. Also, let me know what kind of projects you'd like to see me make with this infinity jig. Also, at the time of this video dropping, if you buy a jig, you can get a 100-foot hank of paracord for free.